Sense Orion's slide, shining ice, glass, metal selene. You might see me in the rhythm in the streets, real heavens dark. Breath, bleed, crang, paradisal. Overtures as if Cupid drops through polished screens. Rested, folded seals, rest philharmonic, that you listen and know not to get it twisted. Will star them through gazing. This your last borealis over each indistinct meridian enfleshed, but slowed down, turned out on a gurney. It isn't cheap in south or east, so you leave early. Spider knots and hitches on more motorways, visitations for blonks, tuned up, leaving them clean in two. We don't matter about holding what time needed, center circling off-white like Virgil, it's real life, not virtue. Limitless, empty orchestral lines, evil gully, jars and listens, cuts through on resurfacing crystal verge from the heights of outdoor plazas. It's a plush morn dragging ice and smoke into subtension. Each and every one of them bars will make you scream side by side. Soft spread lyrical arsenic with the coefficient of an ancient glacier locked up like shine. Intimacy's compound registers bending true astronomical north. Whether it's one of your people, jump in the ride with one of your people's cold dress codes, phasing out by streetlight, bleached by bomb light. Not our usual night walk from the deep, spliced, unleavened, mixing star-bright ice, segued from chance. Carousel, redshift. Look into redshift, beaming us walk, rolling, still stretched out, still smoothing the image of where we cut, black voicing, eliding all edging out velvet reach, and flecting redshift's porous departures. Implacable fibrous rift, rioting orific scree without when it sunsets. Natural needing natural, say if real, recognize real. Bird song the skyline, raised in tonal and alloyed, freeing from the straining steel, your closely unheard jubilees. Every cityscape jump beat, your unrecursive collision again, I enfolding cold eration's witness of what we say of our collapse and hiding in sync washed us over. We could opal beam the end of the night, lose the clamor our friends generate, slip a lack of passage together. This meeting of our earliest moments singing softly to me. Nothing safer than these moments drifting aerial traces of farmyard encased in windsweep. Cadence is talking to you, is talking through you, without losing you, feeling our cold air distilling a slow duppy's shroud in neon high street octaves, remaining more caught in moonlight fray and parting behind who we are, that we appear iridescent when we look at the same clouds at night, like jet stream is how we redshift at a distance, like large pearlescence. We had a foothold in this touch of a sweet ethereal essence at the same time, earth no longer splitting odorless emission from given exsensual after we spoke of us. Yet our shining crests, the blackest runaways, screaming warped, more and more how I want to feel already alive with the clasp of the slip of some of your other long connected ruin. Still retaliating, kicked across maximum barring. Everywhere redshift bleeding hints, curved and curbing the timeline, carouseling where we missed above, seeing us down, resounding some mucky phono-optic blue murder, we could go on into old night. Back and you back before none of us still could step to the pier's edge, preeing what looks lovely, but it's our futuration here, ruggish blank believing, tenoring our absence of truly unaccustomed red-shifting under dark deck of dugplate. Sliced ice up a nerve inspirits the wrist, because inexpressibly full with what words can do to time, hearing the immaculate weave from redshift, nothing like redshift beaming us, spinning us black, circumgathering a mantra, high rings clearing indirect tense across cordless. Shades of its gleam late on a schooner replete on the verge, hiding a bleached negative back ahead to pure words you come down on. No names to show us hearing decantations pouring airs lapping tinctures. We look out from small shrills, I imagine us laughing, all our angles turning over the midnight sighs. Break maroon flesh like air, your profile locked, rusing real together, cold palms that can't grip, clasps clean and airtight, glossed lowly, evincing nothing coming over us. Wind-blown dying starlight heights, down to the gleanest block tip, edged to crack the ways our staring lesions, black bodies like slapped hardened but dull integuments. Ancestral smoke-filled room climbing blunt park rigs, grades dark as any day we walked home, passing as a mystic forests stowed away and legged out heartache for makeshift studio shawns. Faux ice to set the bits of redshift pressing down on us in a real run in plain dark sight, blacklit scrolling, risen like piercing together unreal mind ret, pulse but it's concrete, noxious, preeming, fraying for the dead out friends back to the gleanest carousel, high floor raids on our liesed hems in duffel form. Cold gold metallic night to touch from when we used to prang a 16 bar in a red, when it was heard black surf speaking a warm compress in 3s and 2s with no insides. Not anymore looking at anything we leave behind, but ever-pervading parallax. Oceanic inner sounding like ocean praise itself. Leave for jungle reamer, lording esky, looking for crisp, searing tet, through the coldest airs we speak between recollections, only to come back to your breeze past me. Trance resident stare on speakerphone, back along sheafs that plain laid cast, mystic wisp inside us on Friendly Street, for 9-hour-long whereabouts unknown, left alluvial, scattershot, like sea bream glaring unseeable waves of garms that we redshift under our breath at the doors of the dance, ret-minded, lacy, suffering terror earth, sagaciously being purely obsidian trace, inseparable teeth, chain and ring, lyrically shots our change, money, exchange, money, pass storming glostet, caught in the throat, wet release and charge of tone light. A small copse on the fly conjectures wild flays of mist elegiac or soft innocuous tug on Coptic nerve. Birch trees shining a forest staccato fading above songbirds, daylighting, fleshed out, no ancestral pauses. If you think I'm real, I take my timing to your big, dead, echoless even zeal. You, we, shadowing secret police, moving, seeing us dying, taken for dissipated rich gestation of stomas, spinning us black, angulating out from small rows, the edges showing nothing restored. Setback or dematerialization, Coptic sense of air enfleshed, ghostly crowned apogees, mystic heartbreak, redshift repetition, the distance swept and flipped what we didn't tell. It's my last poem. Still dark wash gushed us, spinning us black. Ethereal dreaming that we crossed, short-circuiting all cadences of the heartbeat, no change to the words untimely bussing, that we hear us from all ends of the visceral clamor in single myriads, unseen from when we made realness forever return, verse baseness of verse, to link us outside without running on a pull-up in the darkness, leading deep enough to get us lost in remaining in whole arrays of sun, carrying inside us each celestial movement without change, making us see change, all along remembering our share of coalescence. What are we to look at, and how saying it won't figure a line of flight, jade of fluidity upon air we dress in glints of sunset. Eyes touch, waters humming mid-drift out of focus, rotates its pulsations. So much history just settled there as an arc leveling suite of denuded sea greens into fuchsia pink F majors breaking live notes and looks away like surf. Evidence of things not seen as black, blue, vermilion. Deck of flesh over dusk in its already dawning. Dust kicked up dawning, with only tertiary gleams to signal dying, seen woven into the impossible, seen stirring our sophonophores. Diasporic at the same time seeing us in our lofty originary leave, roving where we are all the way to this thing dispersed. Round here we got our place in the sun, saying even then what happens to our straining to feel? Leaning, seeing wind between the oppressed, times gone spurious around sameness of exhaustion, conjectures of detritus that we breathe from their dry fores and ashen finesse. We hosts of their memories' high water, mineral echoes of grief, can't help but fall in and out the dark wash together. Held up jettison away from self-snaring, couldn't get away whispering ultramarine, knowing full capture and escape. No more sacred in the small outside, that no one else heard the system in the stoma. None listened in for love, but for apotheosis, rewrote the blank indeterminate main. Fleet of foot through stone your marsh meadowwood, unlike Daystar, ritual, still life, the fuck, the police. A black body is sacred everywhere, leaving no clues. Unlike Daystar, ritual, still life, the fuck, the police. A dead black body is sacred everywhere, leaving no clues. Raised, interlacing sheets of sleet ice in the iris under a deep rift. Thank you.